What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to Sportskeeda MMA News. Joanna Jędrzejczyk gets emotional upon reflecting on her storied UFC career. Jiri Prochazka captures the title at UFC 275, matches Brock Lesnar's achievement, and earns praise from his peers and the boss. Daniel Cormier believes Taila Santos deserved the win over Valentina Shevchenko. Referee Marc Goddard explains why Jiri Prochazka's perceived tap doesn't count. Glover Texeira thinks Adesanya is ducking Alex Pereira. All this and more on today's edition of Sportskeeda MMA News. On that note, let's begin today's roundup. After suffering a brutal knockout loss to Zhang Weili during the main card at UFC 275, former longtime strawweight champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk decided to call time on her illustrious decade-long career. Jędrzejczyk, who is inarguably one of the greatest female fighters in MMA, announced that she's moving on from the sport as she plans to pursue endeavors outside of being a UFC fighter, including motherhood. During the UFC 275 post-fight press conference, Jędrzejczyk revealed that she didn't plan on retiring before the event, but the bout's results solidified her decision. Here's what Poland's Boogie Woman had to say.
No. It was just a moment. Of course, I had it in the back of my head, like maybe there was one day, maybe a year ago, if something happened, I might retire, because I've been in this business for the last 19 years and lots of investment from myself, and yeah, it's time to fully enjoy my life. I approached so much, and honestly, I had no time to sit on it and think about my legacy, how big it is. And I'm a hard worker, and I always dedicate myself, and I give as much as I can, and I get as much as I can in the same way. But now it's time to really fully enjoy it.
In light of her retirement, Joanna received an outpouring of support from her fans and fellow fighters alike. Former lightweight champ Charles Oliveira hopped on Twitter to tell Jędrzejczyk that he was honored to have witnessed her career. Superstar Dustin Poirier called her a champion and a legend, while Kamaru Usman and Daniel Cormier congratulated her for building a stellar legacy through her years of fighting. Now she's retired, where do you place Joanna Jędrzejczyk in the all-time greats list? Let us know in the comments section below. UFC 275 is a night to remember for one Jiri Prochazka, who recently dethroned Glover Texeira to become the new king of the light heavyweight division. Not only did Prochazka leave Singapore with the title, but he also joined former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar in an exclusive club. Matching Lesnar's achievement, the Czech fighter had a quick ascent to the mountaintop, capturing the belt in only his third fight in the octagon. Prochazka's win came at the clutch as he was down in two of the scorecards with 28 seconds remaining in the fight. Denisa won't be denied though, as he capitalized on Texeira's mistakes and locked in a tight rear naked choke to force the tap in the dying seconds of round 5. Reflecting on his massive win, here's what the new light heavyweight champion has to say. Like I said before the fight, I'm ready to end it first or fifth round, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter which technique. I f***ed up my left hand. I think there's something wrong with it. That choke, it came naturally. Prochazka also gained the praises of UFC megastar Conor McGregor, who took to Twitter to extend his congratulatory message. UFC President Dana White was also pumped after Denisa's victory. The UFC boss even posted a video of his instant reaction shortly after the main event. McGregor tweeted, "Paradigm Sports' newest and the Czech Republic's first UFC world champion, the indomitable samurai at Jiri_BJP. What a fight, what a performance, huge congrats at Paradigm Sports." Dana's reaction, what a fight. Dana White's reaction to Glover Texeira versus Jiri Prochazka. Valentina Shevchenko may still have the women's flyweight title around her waist, but she was pushed by Taila Santos to the absolute limit during Saturday's co-main event. The reigning champion, who's been dominant throughout her reign at 125 pounds, found herself in some compromising positions against the Brazilian challenger in her latest title defense. Ultimately, Bullet managed to come away with the razor-thin split decision victory, but a huge segment of fighters, fans, and media members pointed out that Santos' performance was more convincing and that she should have had her hand raised at the end of the bout. Among those people is former two-division champ Daniel Cormier, who called the fight as part of the UFC 275 broadcast team. Assessing the controversial decision on his YouTube channel, here's what DC has to say.
Valentina Shevchenko lost the fight, at least in my opinion. Taila Santos did everything that she was supposed to in order to become the UFC champion. She scored takedowns. She controls. I just don't understand why there is no value in these submission attempts. She got to her back in round 1, 2, and 3. And in round 1 and 3, she had rear naked choke submission attempts.
With how the flyweight title fight went down, it appears that Santos will inevitably get her rematch against the Kyrgyzstani superstar. Do you think Valentina Shevchenko deserved her win at UFC 275? Chime in with your thoughts in the comments section. Referee Marc Goddard broke his silence after fans on social media pointed out that Jiri Prochazka seemingly tapped out to Glover Teixeira. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that the Czech fighter was tapping Teixeira's head during round 5. They believe the fight should have stopped and the Brazilian should have been declared the victor. Glover Teixeira and Jiri Prochazka every few minutes of every round. However, Goddard, who officiated during the UFC 275 main event, clarified that Prochazka didn't tap, but was congratulating his opponent instead. Taking to Twitter, here's what the UFC veteran referee had to say. Lol, Jiri was actually congratulating and encouraging his opponent. He's done it a couple of times and I told him it's a risky game, lol, but it's very clear what he was doing and intending. Let's celebrate the incredible feat from both gentlemen. Of course, Teixeira himself had no qualms with the no call. The Brazilian displayed class as he congratulated his opponent and vowed to return in better shape when he inevitably gets his rematch. Did you think Jiri Prochazka tapped? But more importantly, would you like to see him face Glover Teixeira in an instant rematch, or should he fight somebody else? Former light heavyweight champion Glover Teixeira is a very mild-mannered guy, but he let his thoughts fly when discussing his teammate Alex Pereira taking on Israel Adesanya for a third time. Adesanya and Pereira have met twice, but in a kickboxing setting. These two meetings saw Pereira with his hand raised each time. The second bout was a much more successful one for Stylebender though, that is until he was caught with a knockout blow. When discussing the future of his workhorse of a teammate, he said, Adesanya fought him with kickboxing gloves. He knows how hard he hit. And with MMA gloves, it's like, who knows? I don't know if he's going to take that fight that easy, you know? I think he's going to have a conversation with Dana White, trying to get away from that fight. Alex Pereira will next fight at UFC 276, where he's set to lock horns with Sean Strickland, a fellow striker who is on a 6-fight winning streak. Teixeira believes that a victory at UFC 276 will result in a title shot, but he also believes that Adesanya will avoid this at all costs. That's assuming that Stylebender is still holding the belt. He's also scheduled to fight at UFC 276. In fact, he's one half of the main event. Opposite him is Jared Cannonier. Should Adesanya and Pereira both have a successful night in the office, then perhaps they will meet next. However, they both have very difficult fights in the immediate future against opponents who should not be overlooked. That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA news. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time. Here are some of the best comments from our recent videos. Habib, please come back. Oliveira is a fake champ and a coward. Islam will murder him. Brilliant work. If you like this video, please like, comment and share. Your comments could be featured in the next Sportskeeda MMA news video. We always deliver daily content, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything going on in the MMA world. For updates, quotes, and exclusive interviews from all your favorite fighters, follow Sportskeeda MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.